Hello everyone, welcome to Everything Arsenal. Quick updates on the transfer news, the latest on Bruno Guimarães, the latest on Vinicius, and also Nwaneri. And Gabriel and Martinelli both are back with the rest of the team. I'm sure they're not going to feature against Girona, but from next week we could see them in some of the preseason games, so that is great. Timber went back to London for a scheduled appointment and to check up on his groin, but he should be okay. Hopefully he's ready to go for the start of the season. But let's get to the latest on Bruno Guimarães. So this is what Luke Edwards has had to say. He's had a tough time on Twitter. The poor Newcastle journalist, he's been in denial about Bruno Guimarães leaving, but seems like he's starting to accept it now. Eddie Howe has quit as Newcastle manager with immediate effect. The decision was taken as Howe believes the club will eventually sell Bruno Guimarães to Arsenal this summer. So Newcastle manager has just left today, and most of the reports are saying he's leaving because he knows that Bruno Guimarães is about to be sold to Arsenal, and they feel like the project is falling apart. They've already sold Tonali, already sold Gordon, players like Trippier have left last season, Isaac left, and it looks like Bruno Guimarães is going to be leaving very, very soon. Yesterday, the reports that we had were that both Arsenal and Bruno Guimarães want his future to be resolved before the end of the month. So we only have, like 1.5 days remaining before the end of the month. So are we going to get a breakthrough before the weekend? Let's wait and see. I feel like we're very, very close now. Now the fact that the manager's left, the fact that we're very close to the end of the month, the fact that we're about to play our first preseason game, televised preseason game on Saturday as well. I feel like things need to get a move on. And also on top of that, the fact that Gabriel and Martinelli are back as well. And we were also told that Bruno Guimarães obviously is Brazilian as well. He was supposed to return to Newcastle's camp today or tomorrow. And we were also told that Arsenal are kind of waiting for him to finish his holiday and come back. Now that he's about to come back, I feel like we're going to get a breakthrough very, very soon. I'd hope, but I feel like we're going to get a breakthrough soon. I'd say we're not going to get to next week without hearing Arsenal have agreed a deal with Newcastle for Bruno Guimarães. I don't think it's something that is going to carry on for another, further 2 weeks, 3 weeks. No, I think you're going to get it done this week or over the weekend or something. And this one as well, Ben Jacob says, I think Arsenal have grown in optimism over a deal for Bruno Guimarães. Arsenal feel anything above 75 million will stand a chance. Newcastle sources point towards closer to 85 million. There is a fair chance we get clarity by Friday or shortly after. Newcastle still deny a formal bid, but remember with Christos Tzolis, Arsenal get a verbal agreement and thereafter only placed the formal bid once they'd come to an understanding. So again, there's a lot of different reasons why it's taken too long. As most of us fans feel like it's taken too long. There's a lot of reasons. Some will say it's because he was at the World Cup. Some will say it's because he had a holiday after the World Cup. Some will say it's because Arsenal and Newcastle are trying to reach an agreement, or Arsenal are trying to use other negotiation, ways, and not directly to Newcastle to try and get an agreement before, actually making the bid, official bid to Newcastle. There are also different reasons, but Bruno Guimarães did say he wants to leave Newcastle. That was like over 3 weeks ago already. He said he wanted to join Arsenal. I think it's going to happen because of the situation as well with basically our midfield. None of our midfielders are back because they reached the latter stages of the World Cup. I think you're going to get Bruno Guimarães done very, very soon. And what an exciting signing this will be, man. As I mentioned yesterday, his numbers over the last 3 seasons, incredible. To be the only Premier League player to have 200 plus tackles, 200 plus interceptions, 200 plus fouls won, 200 plus duels won. The only player to do that in the whole Premier League over the last 3 seasons, that's crazy. That means he's he's very good in terms of that energy in midfield, that defensive basically is very that hardcore grit in that midfield. He has that, and he also has the quality when he goes forward. He can assist, he can score goals, he can create chances. So this is exciting, and he's bang in the prime of his career. 28, 29, that's the prime of your career, and he can still give us a good 4 years at least. So hopefully we can get it done very soon. I'm very excited about Bruno Guimarães joining Arsenal. So that is Martinelli back, Gabriel back, Bruno Guimarães potentially signing for Arsenal soon, and are those the only Brazilians, or will we have another Brazilian? So, what's the latest on Vinicius Júnior? So, according to Hand of Arsenal, talks between Vinicius Júnior and Real Madrid over a new contract will resume in the coming days. The current financial gap is a 7-digit figure, and the club have a limit which they will not break. The players' agency feel he is not seen as an untouchable asset, and the contract being offered reflects that. So, at the moment, I still don't think there's anyone who knows exactly what is going to happen with Vinicius apart from... I don't even think Vinicius himself knows what's going to happen. I don't even think Real Madrid themselves know what is going to happen. It all depends on the contract situation. If he decides to sign, then he stays there. If he decides not to sign a new contract, really, want to join Arsenal right now, will Real Madrid want to sell him right now, or are they happy to let him go on a free next season? Try and risk, potentially negotiating again during the season. Like, no one knows what is going to happen. It's not completely dead in terms of the deal. We can't say 100% is happening, and we can't say 100% it's done. Right now, it looks like a 50-50, but I'd still say the chances of Vinicius joining Arsenal for me is like 25%. A lot has to go our way, but the messages we're hearing from the Arsenal camp about Arsenal really going in for him. Are we going to try and convince him not to sign the contract? Is that potential? Is that something that could happen? Who knows? This one, Arsenal approved the signing of Vinicius Júnior internally at all levels after speaking with the players' camp and gathering all the financial details of the deal. Arsenal are ready to put in a serious financial offer should he not sign a new contract at Real Madrid. So, if he doesn't sign a new contract, looks like we're in pole position to get Vinicius Júnior. Now, obviously, there's a lot of things we also have to think about. Can we wait for him for the rest of the month? What if he signs a new contract on August 30th and we haven't signed a winger yet? What happens? Or, by that time, maybe a Barcola will be gone. By that time, maybe a Nico Williams will be gone, Which other wingers will be available? Because most of them will be gone by then. So I think it's something that we have to finalize very quickly. I mean, the ball is not in our court. We have to, wait and see, unless we can afford to just go and get another winger as we wait for Vinicius. I don't know. So it's a tough one. It's a tricky one. I don't know how us are going to approach that one. But there's a lot of things that could happen. Vinicius could sign a contract right now, very likely. Vinicius could stay at Real Madrid without signing a contract and potentially sign a contract during the season. That could happen. He could stay and maybe leave on a free at the end of the next season, or he could stay and leave in January. Arsenal could sign him right now. Arsenal could wait to sign him another time. There's a lot of different possibilities, but we cannot be 100% sure about any of them right now. There's also this from Rodra says Arsenal is serious about signing Vinicius Júnior. The club's owners are now directly involved and are willing to go all out to sign him. Arsenal have spoken with the players' entourage, Rock Nation, to present their idea. Rock Nation, that's his. That's what represents him. Jay-Z and those guys. Imagine Vinicius. I wonder. I mean, there's the other representatives, but I always imagine Atita talking to Jay-Z directly and telling him, "Hey, we want Vinicius at us." So that would be an interesting meeting. And we probably need a couple of your billions as well to help us sign a few more players as well. So it's a possibility. It could happen. Let's wait and see how this one goes. But for me, I feel like it's a 25% chance. Bruno Guimarães right now, I feel like it's a 90% chance he's going to join Arsenal. Vinicius 25%. I've never really gotten to the high levels of excitement that Vinicius is going to be an Arsenal player. I've always been like, let's just wait and see first, because anything can happen. But it would be incredible if you sign someone like Vinicius, a Ballon d'Or level player. Arsenal have never really been the kind of team to sign those kind of players. We've seen Shevchenko playing for Chelsea. We've seen players like Man United, they always sign players, whether they're at the end of their careers or not. You know, they end up signing Di Maria, Cavani's, Falcao's, Ibrahimovic, all those players. Chelsea signed Ballack. Arsenal have never really been the team to sign those kind of players. Vinicius would be one of the few, you know, alongside the likes of Ozil. Now, Nwaneri, what is the latest on Nwaneri? According to Martin Moretto, Ethan Nwaneri is the type of profile that interests AC Milan. There has been contact. Milan is making inquiries to understand the situation. I can add that there are other clubs interested. It's cutthroat, Leipzig, and then 2 Premier League clubs, Fulham and Everton. Arsenal are open to possible departure. A permanent deal would be better, but without losing control over the player's rights. He is definitely not an untouchable player, quite the opposite. So we're still getting the updates on Nwaneri. I think this will be a case of whether Nwaneri wants to stay or not. I don't think Arsenal are, looking for teams to sell Nwaneri to. I don't think Arsenal is, sitting down saying, oh my goodness, we need to sell Nwaneri. Where can we sell him to? I don't think that is the case. What will happen is, I think even Nwaneri would still have stayed at Arsenal from January to May if him and his camp wanted him to stay. But because he wanted to go and get some regular minutes, they decided for him to leave. But right now, if you're to ask Arteta, I'm sure he wants to keep him. I'm sure if you're to ask Bat, they want to keep him. If you're to ask the fans, every fan wants to keep him. But does he want to stay? Does the team, do his representatives want him to stay? Or do they want to go and have another loan deal? Does he really want to leave Arsenal? Because he's not going to play a lot of minutes. We know that. He's going to feature. I mean, last season, he still came on for Odegaard at the beginning of the season a lot of times, and Odegaard was injured. But is it going to be a case of, he feels like he's going to be behind Ezri, behind Odegaard, behind Mikel Merino, behind Havertz. How many games is he going to feature? Even if we start with, let's use what we have right now: Saka, Odegaard, and so let's say our midfield is Bruno Guimarães, Rice, Odegaard, and then we have Saka, Tzolis, Gyökeres. Let's say Ezri probably comes on for Odegaard. Martinelli probably comes on for Tzolis. Madueke comes on for Saka. Havertz or Merino come on for Gyökeres. So even if you're to make subs off the bench, Nwaneri still doesn't come on. We'd still bring on players like Lewis Kelly, players like Subimendi in that midfield ahead of him. So, he's probably a start in the Carabao Cup, probably a start in the earlier runs in the FA Cup, and then the Premier League, maybe he gets, a few opportunities here and there, because you still have players like Dauman. You still have players that you're going to sign. So, he's not going to get regular minutes, definitely not going to get regular minutes. In a season, you'd expect him, let's say in the first 10 games of the season, you'd expect him maybe to come on 3 times. You don't expect him to even start a game. So that should be interesting. I would still keep him. I still think he's going to play a crucial role for us in this team in all the cup competitions. And, we want to rotate. We want to keep on rotating like he did last season with different players whenever injuries occur as well. So let's hope he stays. Let's see how this one goes, especially if they're not giving us enough money. At the moment, they're saying Fulham want him, Everton want him, AC Milan want him, Leipzig want him. Those teams, Fulham have broken the bank right now for a Real Madrid striker. I think it's Gonzalo? I think it's Garcia, 70 million euros. So Fulham might be having the money, but those teams are not the teams you usually look at and say, okay, they're going to give us 50-60 million for Nwaneri. I don't think so. But anyway, I do want Nwaneri to stay, so let's see what happens. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch up with you guys on the next one.